to this week's Scandal Refresh. By now, we're all being hit by a barrage of new blogs about how Volkswagen has been defrauding EPA and emission regulation in one of the biggest shitstorms in automotive history. But what exactly happened and what's the fallout for Volkswagen? Well, let's check it out. In September 2015, Volkswagen, as the world's biggest vehicle maker, shocked the world with its response to the US Environmental Protection Agency notice that Volkswagen clean diesel vehicles were found to be in variety of the Clean Air Act. In its response, Volkswagen admitted that it had deliberately equipped its line of turbocharged direct injection (TDI) diesel engine with a defeat device that was intended to bypass defeat or render inoperative elements of a vehicle emission control system during emission testing, which will make the vehicle appear less polluting under lab conditions and meet the US emission laws. This defeat device is not a physical device, but a program in the engine software that lets the car perceive it is being driven under the test condition. It will sense when the car is being tested and will activate the equipment that reduces the emission. But the software turns the equipment down during regular driving to save fuel and to improve the car torque and acceleration, which can increase the nitrogen oxide emission up to 40 times the legal limits in real-world driving. And according to the reports in German media, the software defeat device has been developed by Audi engineers in years 1999 but remained unused until year 2005 when Volkswagen engineers sneaked a way to get around the strict US emission regulation. And around 11 million diesel cars were affected worldwide, including Volkswagen, Audi and Porsche brands, and range from the model since 2009. And from the media such as Twitter, Facebook, basically we can see that there's a lot of negative sentiments, remarks and comments against Volkswagen from different parties, such as there was no excuse for Volkswagen behavior, and the action of one company should not be stand for the whole industry. And people refuse to continue buying Volkswagen car. And various countries such as Switzerland, South Korea take action in investigating the Volkswagen diesel vehicle emission test and the company compliance with the emission guidelines. And today, we are honored to have Miss Ariana to discuss about the scandal.
Miss Ariana, we have known that the Dieselgate scandal in Volkswagen has become a hot issue in the car industry. As an experienced market analyst, what is your comment? Were there any warning signs for the pending scandal?
It seems that there is no warning sign for the emission scandal because the Volkswagen Group has been so focused and success in delivering their CSR and sustainability initiative. However, concerning the scandal, there could be some warning signs that could have tipped off regulators that Volkswagen diesels driven on the road can create much pollution. It is hard to spot and no one could link them until researchers and regulators began putting the clues together last year. Volkswagen diesel owners routinely report getting higher fuel economy, which is generally too superior for green vehicles. That could be a red flag. But I think because of Volkswagen's consistent effort and pride in promoting green initiative and sustainability, it could be the reason that why the red flag is not highlighted.
So, who's gonna be responsible for the scandal? Let's ask Mr. Dani.
This scandal is caused by the decision of installing emission rigging software in diesel engines by the group of employees of Volkswagen that below the level of management in order to meet stringent regulations in the US. These employees were under pressure to meet tough internal cost targets while working to establish a diesel niche for Volkswagen in the US. Volkswagen has conducted internal investigation for this issue and more than 10 senior managers had been suspended. This evasion of emission regulations conducted by employees also suggests a serious failure in the board's monitoring and oversight function. Therefore, Martin Winterkorn, CEO of Volkswagen, has also resigned on September 2015 to apologize on the emission cheating to the public.
As a professional in accounting theory and analysis, can you have a say in this scandal from academic view?
We can apply this scandal into accounting theories to further understand why this would happen and who will be affected most. Legitimacy and stakeholder theory would fit this case well. Legitimacy theory can be used to understand the manager's action based on social contract, which social contract is about how a company interacts with society expectations. It is undeniable that social has a higher expectations toward Volkswagen, a leading car manufacturer which is well known in environmental friendly field. With the pressures from social as well as regulations and top management, it is not hard to understand that employees would want to install emissions rigging software. Stakeholder theory suggests that stakeholders have the power to influence management decisions and therefore managers would try to meet stakeholders' expectations. This scandal has obviously affecting investor and customer the most and directly among all the other stakeholders. The drops of share price and sales earnings will definitely seriously impact investor returns, which is the most concern of investors. Customers are also affected as they pay the price for the false performance of car. Quite a number of customers purchase Volkswagen's vehicle just because of believing its outstanding environmental friendly performance. Moreover, the Volkswagen's car's value will be dropped significantly after this scandal, which means customers will not able to resell the car for the price it should be.
Thank you, Professor Danny, for your time. Next, we are hear from Professor Inista from Corporate View.
Professor, what do you think should be the main concern of Volkswagen now?
I think the Volkswagen scandal really highlights that the corporate governance and CSR matters. Firstly, we could see that the evasion of emission regulation to a highly developed and widespread managerial effort seems to be the most problematic aspect of the scandal. How was it possible that a senior management and the board weren't aware that the software application is affected 11 million cars? There's a serious failure in the board monitoring and oversight function as a result of poor governance. There are four major problems from a corporate governance standpoint with the Volkswagen board. Firstly, Volkswagen 20% supervisory board has only one independent director, highlighting the serious lack of oversight and accountability. The qualification of and experience of the board is also questionable. This is because the former chairwife, Ms. Ursula, with no governance experience, was appointed to its supervisory board. Again, there is too much politics involved. The ownership structure is also ineffective because of the three largest shareholders hold 88% of the share, leaving external investors with no limited control holding only 12% of voting shares. This could impair the transparency and portfolio activities. Again, Mr. Winston fostered a corporate culture of achieving aggressive sales targets, which leads the Volkswagen operation to deliberately deceive the public. For CSR, the scandal has raised the concern questioning whether the existing CSR efforts in Volkswagen is still effective. From the past, Volkswagen has been so specific about the environmental protection, which the company has consistently communicated its dedication in their annual sustainability report. In the report, it is stated that the Volkswagen Group has a long tradition of resolute commitment to environmental protection. The company code of conduct is fascinating to read. In this case, the company deliberately set out a design of means to violate the emission control to give a company an unfair advantage over its competitors that makes the world number one maker. The supposedly environmentally friendly cars was actually poisoning the planet. So the company is actually failed to commit its CSR efforts as stated.
After the scandal, we can see that the company has suffered from vast consequences. Volkswagen's market value has dropped by 23%, while sales in the US declined almost 25% in 2015. Estimated total cost of the scandal is projected to exceed $8 million. Much more difficult to estimate are the invisible and long-term damages to the company, such as the negative impact on brand trust and reputation, customer satisfaction, employee morale and loyalty, and investor confidence. Trust, once lost, is notoriously hard to regain. Besides, Volkswagen's irresponsible action affects the environment as more harmful emissions are released into the air, which subsequently pollution affects human health. Hopefully, the emission regime scandal will serve as a wake-up call for wider business community. Companies should not treat sustainability and business goals as separate aims. Rather, they need to recognize that it is in the best interest to embed sustainability across business to create long-term value for both company and its stakeholders. Transparency is very essential. The board should review all the findings of its legal and accounting reports and make them public immediately. It is far better for the board to review them rather than waiting for political bodies, media, or the courts to extract this information. Organizations should also aware the importance of connection cultures. Volkswagen senior management has said that they were unaware of the misconduct. If true, the connection culture would have made it more likely that an employee would feel connected to an organization and brought the misconduct to the management attention when there may have been sufficient time to correct the improper behavior. To conclude, Volkswagen needs to accept full responsibility as an organization, not a constellation of individuals, for its emission scandal. It has to lay out a credible plan for how it will truly reduce emissions and verify its compliance with regulatory standards. It needs to counter its stigma by making significant long-term R&D investment to position itself as a leader rather than a laggard in technology development to reduce emissions while enhancing performance. Also, it needs to establish stronger accountability structures and practices
as well as fostering positive changes in its corporate culture, to hold the short-term profit motive in check and prevent any future fraud. If not, they may face the real, often financial consequences.
Now we have known more about the Volkswagen scandal. Stay tuned to our next week's Scandal Refresh for more interesting section. Thank you!